You may desire to have an audiophile experience. You may desire to have everything that extremely expensive setups do, but not spend that kind of money. And you may desire something that is minimalistic, cool, and ergonomic. Well, today we are reviewing just such a thing. This is the GDS Labs Element 3 Mark II Boosted. The baseline version of this will cost you $449, while this version adds another $49. So it is $498 for this version. This is the boosted version. It is called the boosted version because it has a higher power output, which means even better driving power. So we'll explore what that means. Starting with the build quality, this is the Element series. This has the best build quality from the GDS Labs line. It has a metallic top and the plastic bottom. It is made of plastic, the bottom, which is not a bad thing because you don't really care what the bottom is made of as long as the front is resistant. It is actually quite scratch resistant, surprisingly, because we took this outdoors. It has 0 scratches still. At the front we have one headphone output, which is in the 6.3mm format single-ended. I've read recently that the company is offering a very limited edition run with 4.4 balanced outputs, and you can opt for that, but you have to contact them directly to make sure that they still have that offer going on. For the inputs, we have one USB input and one optical input, and we have the power input, which is a 16 VAC input. VAC means volts AC, or alternative current, which is very different from most units that when they are this large they will have a direct current, not alternative current. The power converter is the same as with every single other GDS Labs unit, and it is a very large, very heavy power converter. You will have to have a space for that in your collection of sockets. And we have a mini display at the top, which is new from all of the other elements that I've reviewed in the past. This display is really cool. We have RCA outputs at the back, and I've actually used this with my stereo system in the back as well. And we have a button for on off at the back, and we have a button to select between the headphone output and the RCA output. You have to select those usually. Now there is this large volume wheel at the top. It can turn indefinitely, so the volume range is humongous. It's like this has such a wide volume range. It can go from being incredibly quiet all the way to being too powerful for any single headphone on the market. This is the cheapest, most powerful unit that can drive everything. It can drive Audeze LCD5, it can drive HiFiMan HA6SA, it can drive HiFiMan HA1000 version 2, it can drive HiFiMan HA1000 Stealth, it can drive Kenner Tone Thrower, it can drive Crozon CZ8A, Crozon CZ10, it can drive everything. But there's more. It can drive EMs too, and it has 0 background noise. This is known for that. This is known for being the perfect source out there. I mean, when we throw out words like perfect, we mean that it is really versatile and that you don't have issues with it. It means that it is perfectly workable. Of course, it is a bit unrealistic to expect it to sound like something like Ibeso DX320 Max Ti. This one costs $3,499. It is $3,000 more than the GDS Labs Element 3 Mark II Boosted. But it doesn't mean that this one doesn't get close to it. And that is the surprising part. This one is like a unique thing. They aren't available on Amazon, or at least not on Amazon.com as far as I know, although I will leave links in the video description if they become available for you to find one. They aren't sold en masse. You have to purchase them usually directly from GDS Labs. The sound is incredibly clean, incredibly controlled and detailed. I've actually had to check my notes again and again because I was so surprised by the sound. It's like they made the perfect sound. It is incredibly detailed, it is very resolute, very dynamic and very punchy. But at the same time, it can drive both EMs and headphones, and it has 0 background noise. It is very controlled, very detailed and very, very clean. Those are my thoughts and feelings about it. The soundstage is wide, it is holographic, it is also deep, and it has that 3D feeling to it. It is a very balanced source. It has a good amount of bass, it has a very good punchiness in the sub bass, it has a very good, very surprising overall impact, and it is so terribly enjoyable. Like the DAC amp of my dreams. If I knew something like this existed when I first started doing reviews, I would probably have stopped at it. You don't need any more headphone amplifiers after this one. It can drive everything. As long as it's not an electrostatic, it's everything included. Now this LCD5, they make a puppy out of LCD5, and LCD5 is the hardest to drive headphone that I tested to date. There is nothing in my collection that is harder to drive than LCD5. And this one doesn't even break a sweat. You don't even have to bring it to the maximum. You barely touch the high gain part of it for you to drive LCD5, and that is surprising. It is so powerful. You only use the volume wheel at the top and the selection at the bottom. There is no other stuff that you need to take into account, although you will need to install the drivers on GDS Labs for it to work. There is a USB cable included in the package, but I am not using it because it is too short to get from my computer to my desk. So I am using an aftermarket USB cable for it. The little display at the front is usually turned off. You cannot set it to be turned on all the time, but it will turn on when you adjust the volume to let you know at what volume you're currently at. It will also turn on when you switch the output from RCA to the headphone output. I have not tested the optical input at all, at least so far. I have not yet published the full written review, so I may get to test that before publishing the full written review. But generally the USB input will have a better sound because it has a better data rate. Now, something important, when using it as a USB dock, there is no delay. You don't have to worry. You can play shooter games, you can watch music videos, you can basically consume any kind of content you want. You won't have any kind of delay. There are switching relays included in the Element 3 Boosted Mark II. So that means that when you plug something in, it won't blow up your headphones or EMs. Even if it is left at a very high volume, it will not start playing at that volume directly, like it will not pump noise at that volume. You have to press play for it to start playing. This boosted version has a maximum output power of 2.3 watts in 32 ohms. That is insanely high. I can't even stress this enough, but it is so powerful at driving headphones. I usually am surprised when something is dead silent with EMs, because that is surprising in itself. A company taking into account how to make a good headphone amplifier is surprising. But this one was made to drive everything too. It is the flagship of GDS Labs, and it sounds like that. It is comparable with pretty much everything in the $500 price range. In fact, it will be interesting to review it in writing and to do more comparisons, because it is a relatively new unit in my review roster, so I haven't had time to do proper comparisons with everything yet, but I will be doing that for the full written review. So don't forget, there is a reason to check out my full written reviews. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos. Please leave a like on this video if you enjoyed the content. It would help me so much if you could do that. Also, subscribe to Audiophile Heaven for more content. Don't forget, we also hold giveaways from time to time if you are looking forward to that, if you want to enter a giveaway and if you want to win something. Also, you are the star for being here with me today. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope we'll see each other really soon. Bye bye!